Well, we're hearing more news about Warner Brothers games absolutely dying because of their recent failures, like Multiverses and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice Leagues, because now we're hearing that their revenue has plummeted 48% in Q1 as fallout from their failures continue. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, they have absolutely nothing releasing anytime soon, and they haven't launched anything. They really expected games like Multiverses and KTJL to be around for them to keep updating and bringing people back and bringing in revenue, but that was never, in my opinion, a long-term strategy. That's something that you have on the side, bringing you in a little bit of extra money when you're still releasing major titles. And unfortunately for them, that's not what they are doing, and now they are just going under. It says the crisis inside Warner Brothers games has reached new depths. In its Q1 2025 financial report, Warner Brothers Discovery confirmed a staggering 48% decline in revenue from Warner Brothers games, citing a lack of new releases and a long shadow of last year's disastrous SBI collab Kill the Justice League. What began as a major gamble on a live service superhero title has now rippled across the entire company, costing execs their jobs, shuttering long-standing studios, and calling into question the company's future in gaming. Now, they cannot seem to do anything right. First of all, they had the Arkhamverse on their hands. They had made so many successful games in the past. They could have continued that story in some way, shape, or form that would have been decent. Imagine a set of spin-off games that might have been a little bit shorter, but one you play as Harley, one you play as Catwoman, one you play as Poison Ivy, and they could be set between the different games. Of course, they tried the kind of Harley route, but the issue is that they modernized Harley. It wasn't the Harley you knew and that you loved in the real Arkhamverse games. It was a different version of her. So that is not what I'm talking about. If they had a Catwoman game where you're going around and you're stealthing and you're whipping people like in the DLC, that would have been sick, because that maybe would have sold and you could have stuck the Arkhamverse name on it, but you also didn't have to have Batman as a lead character. They could have just continued on with Batman as the lead character. Absolutely nobody would have complained. But then we also saw Warner Brothers games trying to deep dive into a title like Multiverses because they saw the success of other games like Super Smash Brothers and even Fortnite and Overwatch 2 with lots of different collabs and different characters and skins and all of these things they thought was going to rake in the dough. Didn't happen. Quidditch Champions was a game that lost them a lot of money. I don't know why the fuck they would decide against going for Hogwarts Legacy DLC. I think that they always should have had the Quidditch as a big expansion for Hogwarts Legacy. They didn't do that though. Every move they have made has been terrible. We also know that, of course, they decided to unfortunately kill Monolith Productions, and now we're never getting another Nemesis system game, which is heartbreaking to me. The Wonder Woman game might have come out and been at least half decent, though that's dead now too. It says, though, Sweet Baby is known for its narrative consulting services, has become a lightning rod in the industry, and projects influenced by FBI like Unknown Nine Awakening, South of Midnight, and more have seen commercial failures and widespread backlash. Kill the Justice League is the, in my opinion, biggest failure under Sweet Baby Inc.'s belt, and it is the game that really kicked off Gamergate 2. Yeah, sure, months before there was like Alan Wake 2, but Kill the Justice League was on another level. It says, of course, though, the Wonder Woman game that never was. In response to mounting losses, Warner Brothers Games implemented a sweeping restructuring plan earlier this year. The fallout included the cancellation of the highly anticipated Wonder Woman game and the permanent closure of Monolith Productions, the beloved studio behind the Middle-earth series and Warner Brothers' patented Nemesis system. We have since heard that there were quite a few raging feminists on this project, people who just in general are more worried about pushing their activism over making really good content. So, sure, maybe it wouldn't have come out and been good, but at least we would have seen them trying to use the Nemesis system again. It says, though, the company reported no major game releases in Q1 2025, which further amplified the damage. With no new content to offset the previous year's losses, Warner Brothers' gaming division was left floundering. While titles like Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat 1 continued to generate some revenue, they weren't enough to sustain the division's financial needs. As a result, a 48% drop in quarterly games revenue and a 16% decline across the entire studio segment, with Warner Brothers overall reporting $9 billion in total Q1 revenue, down 9% year over year. It says, though, earlier this year, Warner Brothers also shut down Player First Games, Monolith Productions, and then Warner Brothers Games San Diego, all while removing the head of the gaming division, David Haddad. I think that they are scrambling at this point. They are struggling to figure out a way to make a few dollars, and none of these plans are going to work. They should have went for as much Hogwarts Legacy content as possible. They shouldn't have ever gone with Kill the Justice League, and they should have went for Batman or Batman's ladies, we'll say, the sirens. That would have been very cool. With multiverses, they should have actually listened to what gamers wanted, which was them implementing more content and actually not charging an arm and a leg for cosmetics. But none of these things are what they did, and that's why they're seeing major failures at this point in time. And they're saying that they're going to focus on their 4 tentpole franchises, which is Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC. But I don't know what they're going to do. Mortal Kombat hasn't had a lot of hype in years. Harry Potter, it's going to be several years until we see Hogwarts Legacy 2. Game of Thrones, they recently launched that game, King's Road, which was really a mobile game that was ported to PC, which was fucking trash. It had like 12 different currencies in it, and it didn't bring back any of the iconic voice actors from the show. It's not like it was the high quality experience people were expecting. And then DC, they've already killed the Arkhamverse. So I don't know what they're really going to do regarding any of these characters or franchises, but it says it is a gaming division in free fall. From a $200 million Sweet Babying failure and canceled flagship projects to mass layoffs and executive turnover, the past year has been devastating for Warner Brothers. And honestly, I don't give a fuck anymore. It sucks to say because I used to love Rocksteady. I used to love Mortal Kombat, and the Arkhamverse was epic, and I really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. There is no love there anymore. I do not trust modern day gaming developers, and I take every single project as its own. I don't expect, because it's got the Rocksteady name slapped on it, it's going to be amazing. I look at each project individually, and all of the projects they've launched have been flops, so why would I put my faith in them? Why would I sit here and say, actually, I have a little bit of hope that in the future they're going to turn things around? They haven't proven over the past several years that they can do that, so why would they be able to do that in the next few years? They would have to fire basically everybody, get back some of the veterans that used to work at these companies and these different studios, and actually hire people based on their skills and based on merit, not because they push a certain political viewpoint that a company feels comfortable with. What was once a promising arm of the entertainment giant is now in full retreat, scaling back ambition, shuttering innovation, and struggling to maintain fan trust. Many studios ended up being created because the companies within Hollywood saw a way to make more money. I mean, the gaming industry is a behemoth, right? $200 billion in 2024, which is crazy. So they thought to themselves, hey, we'll hire a few people, start a few studios, maybe work with some of our iconic characters and make bank. And for a time, they were making a lot of money, but this is just what happens when you fire the passionate people. You're not hiring passionate people in their place, and you're more worried about pushing your personal brand of activism. You are more worried about a political statement that is being made instead of really good, fun, unique entertainment. So I can't say I feel all that bad for Warner Brothers and what they're going through right now. And of course, it's funny to me to see another major failure under Sweet Babying spell, because many studios have died because of their affiliation, and it looks like Warner Brothers Games is next up on the chopping block. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.